helping city volunteers visit and care for residents of Sarimanok Tent City. Taoyuan City volunteer Yang Guilan has dedicated herself to charity missions for 14 years. Welcome to DaAi Headlines. I'm Siri Su. Thank you for joining us. We begin our program today with a story from the Philippines. The Battle of Marawi in southern Philippines in 2017 killed thousands of people and displaced millions of people. 2 years have passed and people still cannot return home. The government then called this place where people live in tents Sarimanok Tent City. A local chief then provided his land to Tzu Chi to build 400 prefabricated houses for tent dwellers. City volunteers went to the tent city on December 2nd to see how people are doing. Let's join them there.
Paggabi naisip ko sila, naisip ko yung before na masaya kami, minsan lumalabas kami, pumupunta kami ng iligan, kumakain sa labas.
Looking at the tent city, Wada has no sense of belonging, only sadness. We see tent after tent in this vast land. These are people's homes after the Battle of Marawi in 2017.
We live every second in misery. We have become the domestic refugees according to the definition of the United Nations.
Wada and her husband used to own a jewelry store in Marawi, so they lived a very luxurious life, but the civil war destroyed everything they had.
Living in Tent City is either very humid and hot or very cold. Because the wind will penetrate the tent, everything we once owned is totally different from what we have now.
Wada had a rich friend called Farida, but had not seen her after the war until this time. Farida has been helping Tzu Chi volunteers with translating in the tent city, and they unexpectedly meet once more.
More than a friendship ang meron kami. And then sa case,
We're very like sisters, and I didn't expect to see her again after the war. She kept saying that she lived quite well. This is the way she is. She's very tough.
ay, so Allah. Pray na lang.
Pray sa itaas.
The friendship that is reconnected is like a flower blooming again on this scorched land.
City volunteers from 4 countries worked together to distribute rice to affected residents in the aftermath of a flood in Laos. Overseas Chinese, the village head, and villagers came to help out with the distribution. Some nearby vendors also helped provide cold drinks for thirsty volunteers. This act of compassion helped connect people together. Here's our report.
Every distribution venue has nearly 1,000 bags of rice on site. During this distribution, the local village head called upon 500 villagers to help carry the rice. Laos entrepreneur Chen Zhenghui was busy organizing the venue control and distribution of manpower. From time to time, he also helped sweep up rice from the floor with the broom. He also begins the mission early and stays until the last person, encouraging other volunteers through his actions. His son, Mr. Somak Segalan, was a tall guy who volunteered to help translation in the venue. He also follows his father's footsteps, helped carrying the supplies. They both sweated and felt happy since they share the same goal.
Tzu Chi volunteers come to help Laos, so I'm here to help Tzu Chi volunteers.
From holding one distribution to the next, local volunteers began to take the lead.
When we share our love in Laos, many local bodhisattvas show up. And when they are willing to contribute more, we should let them start taking the lead.
Since Thailand and Laos are close to each other, they share some language similarities. Thus, Thai volunteers provided a big help in the venues. However, they were humble about their contribution.
She said this is her first time doing this, and she has no idea what she could help with, but she keeps trying to make some contributions.
Viravid volunteered in Tzu Chi with his mother since little. However, he was later busy in his family business. This time, he came back again to provide more contributions. After knowing the language barrier between volunteers from 4 different countries, he used a chart to explain the supplies that needed to be placed on each truck.
I drew tables and charts to make sure the cargo capacity from the drivers, also made charts for explaining the delivery process. I hope it helps.
He stayed humble with his contributions and was willing to share the burden for the mission. Now he became the main force in every distribution venue.
I learned that there were a huge amount of supplies in every distribution venue, and since Laos is very close to my country, Thailand, I feel very glad to provide help to these affected farmers.
People came together helping each other because of love and care. The difficulties they went through together will soon become part of their sweetest memories.
In China, 132 city volunteers deliver love and warmth to families in need in Sichuan. In total, they help 321 families. They're mostly solitary seniors and people who have physical illnesses. Volunteers deliver supplies and blessings to them, bring them warmth in this cold winter.
It was 1 hour before the beginning of winter distribution. Many villagers arrived early on site, waiting at the venue. Tzu Chi volunteers also cherished the opportunity to care for these senior recipients.
I collect garbage for the cleaning team. Today I collected a bag of garbage. No matter how busy I am, I'll collect at least one bag of garbage and carry it myself. Yes, I carry it myself and could exchange it for more than $1. Our target recipients are solitary seniors and those who have physical illnesses. We wish them a happy new year, and we want to send them love and blessings from all over the world.
Many of these seniors have some physical inconvenience and were accompanied by relatives. They are mostly solitary seniors or those who live with their partner. Their children were usually outside making their own living.
那就是现在不能劳动了啊，就是没劳动了，我脚痛哈，用得着，马上用得着吧？啊，就在用我刚才盖床铺盖，盖床铺盖不够哈，现在正好就可以加暖哇。好。
Volunteers saw a senior who had leg pain and was carrying many supplies by himself, so they decided to drive him home. Later on, they found out he and his wife had a poor living condition, eating simple meals. They felt sorry for them and decided to help them out.
I asked the local senior if he grows rice. He said no, so they don't have rice to eat. Since he lives up in the mountains and there is no land to farm, so he has to purchase the rice for their meals. People should celebrate the New Year by having rice or noodles to eat and some new clothes to wear. I think our life is good enough and we have things to eat and clothes to wear and live wealthier than others, so we should try our best to provide help to those in need.
Volunteers chat with the seniors happily, bringing warmth and care to them during this cold winter.
Master Zheng Yan is on her tour around Taiwan, and recently she arrived in Kaohsiung in southern Taiwan. City volunteers in Kaohsiung told her about their work in loading 2 cargoes of second-hand clothes to Sierra Leone. It demonstrated their strength in unity. Let's take a look.
These different-sized cardboards have their applications.
Different people will come every day, so we tell them to use the cardboards to fold the clothes, and they must also check on the buttons while folding the clothes.
The volunteers folded the second-hand clothes and loaded them onto 2 cargoes for Sierra Leone. It was a major challenge to the strength and the wisdom of the volunteers at the Ganshan Recycling Education Center.
I couldn't do it alone. They gave me a computer. They knew how to put clothes into boxes and used a computer to record the number. I used my head to record the number.
The unity allowed the second-hand clothes to be sent out from this recycling station, and this place was once an old school.
因缘齐全呢，这个学校就是安尼的因缘，他交给我们慈济，慈济也加在有安尼的因缘，那伫迄个所在，委托大家人用心用爱来照顾。
Good thoughts help connect with others' good things. It is like a rope that the volunteers are holding. It symbolizes their strong determination. 共同的原力，合一念心，
强一份志，咱的心志要坚定，因为咱所选择的方向是无偏差。
The master expects everyone will continue their work with firm and steady steps.
In our next report, we'll meet a dedicated city volunteer. Taoyuan Tzu Chi volunteer Yang Guilan has been carrying out charity missions in the community for 14 years. She treats the care recipients as if they're her family. She cares for the sick and poor, and many care recipients call her angel grandmother. Let's learn more about this amazing volunteer.
为什么有贵人来帮助我们？为什么读到我心姐心胸那么好？
2013年12月9号，那个肺给那个细菌咬坏掉了，身体就是80几公斤，生病都生38公斤，都是生骨头了。
My son and I could not move him from the bed. Fortunately, Tzu Chi brothers came. Tzu Chi's sister also brought milk for us. They gave me red envelope. I really appreciate Tzu Chi brothers and sisters. Thinking about this now, I want to cry.
师姐，便当来喽！
感恩呢。
Whenever I deliver lunch to the children who just get off school, the children are really happy to see me. They call me grandma. They express their joy very naturally, as if I'm their biological grandmother.
对，你要跟婆婆说什么？跟婆婆说什么？
他曾经去边防龙岗，然后拎着包包跟3个小朋友去住朋友家，房租没有。
She was driven away by the landlord, so she brought her bags and 3 children to her friend's house. Since she did not pay her rent, I registered her as a care recipient. She cannot afford to pay the rent, and her children are really suffering. Imagine that the 3 children and 1 adult carry their luggage and ride on the motorcycle. My heart goes out to them.
She truly mindfully helps us. My children have felt her love, and they said that when our family faces difficulties, Grandma Guilan will appear. The children think that God has sent her to our family. She seems to be an angel to us.
要乖乖听妈妈的话。好，拜拜。下次再来，再见了，拜拜。
谢谢婆婆这么多年来的帮助我们，然后婆婆我们也永远爱你。谢谢你们，也陪我走了很长的路。
Next, we'll take a look at a turning point in someone's life. Zhang Mingzhao is a city volunteer in training, but he got into an accident which not only hindered his volunteer training, but also put his life in danger. His family even received 3 notices of critical danger during his hospital stay. During the time he was in the hospital, his biggest support was his Dharma family. When he saw the volunteers visit him, he was moved to make a vow to return to the big Tzu Chi family as soon as possible. And he was true to his word. Let's take a look.
All of my organs moved from its original spot. I had a ruptured spleen, which required a major surgery. That my heart was not in the right position, and the doctor had to position the organs back one by one. Thankfully, my health is still good enough. The doctor just said to keep away from lifting heavy things. So during this time, my family had no income. The earlier I come back to work is better for my family.
I'm vegetarian, so there's no meat. The doctor didn't say anything about diet, so he eats normally.
That day, it looked like there were about 20 people visiting me. I was very moved. They all wished me to rest, get well, and not think too much. They said they were keeping me in their thoughts. When I was in intensive care, some Tzu Chi brothers and sisters came to see me already. I told them back then that I will regain my health and return to the big Tzu Chi family once more as quickly as I can.
The second day he was in ICU, I brought my prayer beads to give to him. I told him, Ming Zhao, I am Sister Bizhu. I will leave my prayer beads here for you. I'm only lending it to you because you have to receive your own at the end of the year from Master Zhen Yan when you complete your certification. When I was saying those words to him, the green machine next to him, which monitored his vital signs, began beeping loudly. It seemed like his heart was still beating, so I didn't know why the monitor would beep. When Ming Zhao woke up in ICU, he said he felt a strength which kept him alive.
I'm in construction, so some of these are collected from other places, like this window, which was used once and then removed. It had been sitting in my warehouse, so I brought it over to use. The metal sheets as well, they were used in the construction of a temporary office. Then it was torn down, so I asked the workers to use it here.
If I'm able, then I want to do as much as I can. This is what I have the skills for. Setting an example for others means doing something for others to follow. And since it's within my ability, I just want to do what I am able to do. Since my health is permitting me, I'll continue on because I've rested for a while and it's time to be active. I'm very, very moved today, as I know I will continue walking this path. I've always said you won't regret walking the Tzu Chi path. This ending is just a new beginning. I will be ever more diligent in Tzu Chi.
One of the groups featured in today's Youth Public Works series is We Are All Ill, a rap group co-founded by Annie Xie. She's personally battling lymphoma and worked as a web designer before meeting another cancer patient. Now they use rap music and the stage to inspire others to fight bravely. Let's take a look at how they inspire people with music. Here's our report.
Rap singer Annie Xie takes the stage to sing about her own life experience. She was diagnosed with lymphoma 2 years ago, which disrupted her life.
When I was 26, I was diagnosed with stage 3 lymphoma. Everyone can see by this picture that I became bald after my chemotherapy treatment. This is when I thought about doing rap, maybe because I finished my chemotherapy and I was a bald hip-hopper.
Before suffering from cancer, everyone knew her as a web designer, and she even received Germany's Red Dot Design Award. However, after repeated chemotherapy and radiation therapy, she lost her hair. The most important change in her appearance meant that she did not leave the house for 2 months and once gave up confidence in the treatment.
对于生病的自己
I doubted my worth because I was sick.
价值的怀疑
I felt that resting in a hospital bed every day has no value to society. I felt like a waste because of this illness and didn't know if we'd be able to go back to society.
还可以回去社会吗？
Rap music became an escape for Annie, as she found fellow artists to create and practice with. This collaboration led her to become happy once again.
I wrote about all of my dissatisfaction in these songs, and then I finally found an outlet when I could use this artistic form. It was a way to talk about my dissatisfaction, and no one would tell me you're not allowed to feel angry. They just think that I was so brave to turn it into a song.
自为他琴棋书画样样行，自为他怕打针看到针吐着赤身身，针能不能别打了？有没有其他的法儿呢？他头发都掉了，药都吃了，爱这苦走过来了。
During the healing period, she created a self-deprecating song about fearing injections, and eventually stepped out of the shadow of cancer and stopped wasting her life, turning her fight against cancer's story into a music video. She also opened a page for those with cancer friends and hip-hop fans, and wrote many articles and even lectured. All this meaningful work led to a realization while she was ill.
我觉得以前生病前的我可能会比较自大一点。
I think I might have been arrogant before I was sick. I might think that I was very powerful. But after I was sick, I felt the opposite because I knew I was powerless, as I needed others to help me in my life.
同好跟愿意帮助我的人，
讲蛮多的自己的，对，因为他其实是一个很有。
She changed a lot because she is actually a very opinionated person. So at the beginning, the team just did what she said to complete something together.
什么，然后大家一起来帮忙把那个东西给完成。
But gradually, because everyone in the team has their own ideas, she began to listen and provide more space for this input from other people to be heard.
有更多的空间去抒发自己的一些想法。
For Annie, cancer was part of her rebirth. At present, she and her rap group, made up of other cancer patients, We Are Ill, have been included in the second National Public Welfare Youth Plan, helping cancer patients feel positive energy or vent negative energy, also teaching them to be brave in the face of their illness.
In Tzu Chi Academy in Richmond, Canada, students from the 8 classes participated in the Tzu Chi Children's Song Contest. They must learn the lyrics before they could gesture the sign language. We'll leave you with these images. Thank you for joining us. Goodbye.